Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Without further ado, let's continue, shall we? Hazao? Hazao, are you? The soft, barely audible voice lingering in my ears slowly wakes me. I wish I could be awoken like this more often. With a mumble, I slowly open my. Whoa, ah! Taken by surprise at the face hovering curiously mere millimeters from mine, I make our heads collide with a harsh thud. The impact of our foreheads causes both of us to fall backwards and yelp in pain, Lily sounding more like a squeak toy than a person. Ow, ow, ow. I slowly rub my forehead with one hand, supporting myself with the other. Lily lies a few feet ahead, just doing just the same, her face obviously pained. Sorry, your face is kind of close and I acted on reflex. You okay? My head. Seems she's not actually okay, come to think of it. I doubt that the impact alone is what's causing her head so much pain. Hangover? You drank a fair bit last night. She silently nods in confirmation as I lever myself up. I offer a hand to her and help her back onto her feet. Glancing behind her, I find that Hanako is still fast asleep. It's not fair, I only drank as much as you did. It's very different from what I remember. Anyways, girls have a lower tolerance than men. That doesn't help. Fine, I'll get you a glass of water. Just be careful not to trip over Hanako. I rub the sleep out of my eyes, or at least some of it, as I walk to the counter. Tending to someone with a hangover isn't the way I'd like to spend a morning. It only takes a few seconds for the glass to fill, the clear water reflecting the sliver of light that makes it through the thin curtains. It looks like Lily's taking a seat on the side of the bed. I walk over to her while taking care to step over the peacefully sleeping Hanako and place the glass into her outstretched hands. Thank you. No problem. I take a seat next to her, the soft bed having a surprising amount of give. She drinks slowly and methodically. A long silence passes with only Hanako's soft breathing to be heard. With some measure of guilt, I look at Lily's face and attempt to read her expression. Her brow is furrowed, and she looks to be lost in thought. For a moment I hesitate, but eventually place a hand on her shoulder in an attempt to reassure her. I didn't expect her to flinch rather noticeably at that, though. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Lily quickly shakes her head in a manner somewhat more violent than usual for her. She takes a long breath to steady herself before letting her head sink. I must look terrible right now. I move to protest, but quickly realize that it would be futile to do so. That said, I want her to open up more. If you want to talk about anything, I'm here. Lily gives a self-deprecating snort, as if to mock her own emotions. There's just a lot happening right now. I'm sorry for being so strange recently, especially back when we were in town. Even now I'm a bit confused about everything. Believe me, I know how that feels. She smiles wistfully, resting a cheek on the backs of her fingers. We're a couple of broken young fools, aren't we? Come on, don't say that. Come graduation, we'll be back out into the real world. The real world. Sometimes I surprise myself with the way I think about things. I guess the strange divorced feeling of Yamaku and the surrounding town compared to the outside world still hasn't become natural. Maybe it never will. It's strange in hindsight. Being isolated from society like this doesn't feel as bad as it probably should. A wry grin on her face. Lily seems to share the same amount of amusement at the idea. Eventually, though, her smile drops. I'll be going back to Scotland for a week or two soon. Is that why we had to reschedule Hanako's birthday party? She gives an affirmative nod. You'll be able to see your family again, at least. Are you looking forward to it? You're not looking forward to it? I haven't met my family in 6 years. I don't even know how to act around them anymore. Wait, what? My mouth hangs open as I try to process what she said. If she's 18, that means she'd have only been 12 when they left. I may have seen very little of my parents what with them both working long hours, but that's... I feel utterly useless as I struggle to find some way to respond. That's... But why? Why did they leave? Or are they inviting Kira and me back? Or why are they inviting Akira and me back? Both, I suppose. My father's business has its headquarters in Scotland, and an executive position has become available for him there. In the end, he had to move permanently. My mother followed him, but Akira and I stayed in Japan for the sake of both Akira's job within the Japanese branch of my father's company and my education. As for the latter, one of my aunts is gravely sick. I'm sorry. Don't be. It feels strange, really. We're being summoned there for her, yet we're barely met before. I can't even remember the sound of her voice. Equally strange is the total lack of antipathy she feels towards her family for doing such a thing. I can't help feeling slightly humbled. That said, her wistful exterior is just hiding her emotions. Seeing her like this is depressing. Knowing what to do, I lift myself off the bed. Lily notices the bed's movements, her head perking up, and her hand reaching sideways to feel where I was. Hazao? I walk over to my bag, still leaning against the wall. Unbuckling the front flap and retrieving the opaque bag from within, I take the small plain box in my hands. Hold out your hands, Lily. Hold your hands out, Lily. She looks surprised for a moment, but eventually acquiesces. I'm amused by her look of curiosity when I place the music box into her open palms. Her typically delicate way of handling it, making it seem as if it were fragile enough to break if breathed on. She wordlessly brings it in front of her face, her slender fingers feeling out its contours and patterning. Eventually, her fingers find the recessed line between the lid and the body of the box, and her thumb effortlessly pops open the lid. I take a seat on the bed next to her, watching her face silently and intently. She sits completely motionless as she listens to the diminutive tinny melody, her mouth just slightly opened. It takes a long while before she closes the lid with a small snap, bringing the curtain down on the miniature performance playing in her hands. The smile on her face, gentle and wistful, shows that I made the right decision. Think of it as a going away present for your trip to Scotland. I will. A reckless shuffling can be heard from the door in front of us, the sound having awoken Hanako. She climbs out of the blankets I put over her, looking befuddled and wiping the sleep from her eyes. I see you're finally up. What? Hanako looks around the room, with her eyes only half open, her mind far from being as awake as her body. Her dazed state makes me and Lily chuckle. As Lily gets off the bed and tends to Hanako, I take one last look around the room. I guess I'd better get going then. There'll be questions if I'm seen leaving the girls' dormitories in the morning. Goodbye, Hazao. Oh, goodbye. I stand and walk to the door, picking up my somewhat lighter bag along the way. After I leave the room and enter the hallway, though, I hear Lily's footsteps behind me. What's wrong? Without a word, she strides up to me. I freeze as I feel her hand slide into my cheek, seemingly every nerve taking in the feeling of her fingers and palm around it. Immediately after, her face slowly moves next to mine, a light, momentary touch of her lips brushing against my other cheek. For a moment, everything seems to stand still. I absent-mindedly bring my fingers to my cheek, as if to try and recapture that fleeting feeling. Lily. That's my thank you, Hazao. Thank you? For your present. Have a nice day in school. And with that, she disappears behind her door and gently closes it, the muffled voices of her and Hanako audible through it much as they were yesterday night. I think I'd be hard-pressed not to have a nice day after that. I walk away with a certain spring to my step. I think there were some people around that glanced at me emerging from the girls' dormitory building, but I find it difficult to care. course. It's like... Hee-chan! Go away. Hee-chan! Leave me alone. Come on, Hee-chan. Let me sleep. After 2 nights of not being able to sleep at all, the last thing I want is to be woken when I finally manage to. It may be the last period of class with a textbook as my pillow, but I'll take whatever sleep I can get by this point. See, Hee-chan, even Chi-chan wants you to get up. I don't care what Shizune wants, leave me alone. Geez, Hee-chan, I'll just have to wait. Wait, Misha's going to... You... This is bad. I'm up, you don't have to. I can feel my face flowering into a scarlet red blush. The students still in class are sitting bolt upright and staring at the shouting fool who was sleeping just moments before. Damn it. I let my head smack back down on the table with a noticeable thud. Wahahaha! Misha's trademark uncontrolled laughter reverberates through the classroom. As I turn my mournful eyes to the bespectacled Shizune beside her, she carefully adjusts her glasses, desperately trying to maintain a look of serious disapproval. Narrowing my eyes, I can see the badly hidden grin spreading across her face. Et tu, Shizune? Shizune looks away quickly, as she crosses her arms tightly, barely on the edge of her control. Wahahaha! Misha's laughter doubles in volume as she glances at Shizune. All I can do is drag my hand down my face in resignation. You two. Who was the one who slept in class, Hee-chan? Yeah, it was me. Poor Hee-chan was having a fit trying... Poor Chi-chan was having a fit trying to wake you up, weren't you? I moved my eyes back to the standoffish Shizune, who with a single huff of confirmation, returned to looking away with her arms crossed. Why is Shizune trying to wake me up? Chi-chan wanted to give you handouts the substitute gave out while Hee-chan was sleeping. Handouts? I suddenly find 2 sheets of paper thrust down in front of my face. Following the hand holding them, I see the still pouting figure looking down at me with a distinct scowl. I guess I really am in the wrong here. Sorry about that. No dice. Her irritated face still holds. I clasp my hands together and flick my head downwards in apology. Very, very sorry. She huffs and simply drops the papers on the desk. Damn. I look up over my hands to see Shizune and Misha signing frantically to each other, a look of frustration on Shizune's face. It looks to be less of a dialogue and more of a tirade, punctuated with sidelong glances at me. To say it's unsettling is an understatement. The two suddenly stop signing and look at me in unison, both having exactly the same look of disapproval. In one fluid motion, Misha's hand suddenly extends high above me and comes rocketing down. Before I even hope to react, my head is sent bouncing up and down like a jack-in-the-box. I quickly bring my hands to my head, more out of a reflex than actual pain. Ow, what was that for? I open my eyes to see the two grinning at each other while exchanging an enthusiastic thumbs up. Chi-chan says she forgives you now, Hee-chan. Could you forgive me with a little less force next time? Wahahaha! I look at the two with a blank face. Misha and Shizune, 1, Izao, 0. Oh, Chi-chan says you should check your student mail more often. She produces a bright yellow envelope and hands it over with an exuberant grin. Strange. Who could have written me a letter? Now is not the time, and most definitely not the place to find out, though. Giving up on the nap so cruelly stolen from me, I rub my forehead and slowly get up, putting the sheets and envelope in my bag before swinging it over my shoulder. I take a step back and move to depart with a small bow, while Misha clutches her sides laughing, and Shizune nods back in a curt farewell. I join the flow of students exiting the open door, and turn the corner into the hallway, only to end up face to face with Hanako. Well, hey Hanako. Good afternoon, Izao. Silence falls between us as busily chatting students pass us by. She's fidgeting constantly, her eyes drawn to her rather unremarkable footwear. I take the bridge of my nose in my fingers while I blink my eyes heavily in an attempt to make things seem clearer, I'm barely staying awake as it is. Hanako, you want to say something? What is it? I, wanted to give you this. Hmm? She holds out a small rectangular piece of paper. I blink again to make out the text through my barely open eyes, slowly starting to make out what's written. Eggs, 2. Bread loaf, 1. Whole grain cereal, 1. Thyme, 1. A shopping list? I look upwards, raising an eyebrow. I usually go shopping with Lily, but I can't come, so... You want me to run errands for you? It's okay if you don't want to. I just thought maybe, She's panicking. I sigh. Yet another battle lost, though this time by a weakly fought surrender. I smile tiredly and rest a hand on her head to calm her down. It's fine, I was going to go anyway. Just the stuff on this list? She nods, then bows deeply, twice, as if to make her gratitude perfectly clear. We were going to meet outside the school gates at 6. Thank you, I was going to get it, but I need to study for the test tomorrow. Tests. Oh yeah, that's right, science. How are you doing with it? She brightens ever so slightly. I've been spending more time on it before. I think I can do okay. Good work then? She too starts smiling, and much more earnestly than I at that. I have full confidence that I can do fine in it without any extra studying, but the fact she's putting in the effort instead of just reading in the library is heartening. I'll grab your stuff and take it to your dorm in the evening. See ya. With a small wave, we part ways. I'll go do my homework before meeting Lily. I should be able to take care of it in time. Wrangling with a particularly complicated math problem that's caused me to be a little bit late for my meeting with Lily. Only a couple of minutes, but enough to make me step smartly out into the courtyard and to the school gate. I make a right turn and start my way towards the small town below, leaving a few students turning the other way to the bus station. I slip my right hand into my pocket as I walk in the orange sunlight of dusk. Thankfully, the sweltering summer heat started to die down, making way for a pleasant, cool breeze. Words. When I stretch my hands high above my head, a familiar figure takes form, cane in her right hand. Ah, Lily. She stops and turns around, swiveling her head slightly to try and work out exactly where the voice came from. Hey, it's me. I quickly catch up to her, coming in beside her and matching her slow pace as we resume walking. Good afternoon, Hazao. Hi there. I glance up at the sky. A distinct tinge of orange discolors the clouds, washing the footpath in its light. Long shadows from the trees fall across the wide road down the hill. So, Hazao, what brings you here? I was just going to town to grab some groceries. Hanako sent me. Hanako sent you? Yeah, she said... Yeah, said she needed to study for a test tomorrow. I was going to come down anyway, so I'll just buy her stuff as well. Unspoken is that Lily could really use some help to get food, but it's an obvious fact that neither of us needs to state. It's good to hear she's studying for it. I thought the same thing when she asked me to come with you. We continue walking down the street, the familiar sound of her cane echoing through the air as we go. Except for the occasional passing car and the leaves whispering in the branches, there's a blissful silence. Thank God I can finally relax for the first time today. I glance over at Lily. That porcelain face of hers never seems to lack that air of refined confidence. I guess that could be said of her personality too. As she silently walks, her face remaining pointed to the street ahead of her, I look ahead and savor the cool air blowing over my face. This is probably the calmest moment I've had since the about face my life took so recently. To have it while walking to get some groceries, what a weird life. I feel the crumpled up note rubbing against my hand in my pocket. I pull it out to check its contents. Let's see here. Eggs, bread, cereal, thyme, lettuce, shaved ham. That sounds like quite a bit to carry back along with your own. Yeah, just how much does this girl eat anyway? My mind suddenly clicks that, yes, there actually is a person beside me. Wait, I mean... She laughs wholeheartedly. My, Hazao. Her giggles punctuate her words, though she's making little effort to suppress them. Quite direct today, aren't we? Yeah, you got me there. Still, it is quite a bit. Usually I go shopping with Hanako, so I know what she buys. It's the same thing every week. Huh? She a good cook? She gives a nervous giggle. It's usually me who ends up cooking. I'm used to it. I used to do so for Akira, so it's no problem doing it for Hanako as well. You can cook, but... A short hum with an amused lilt emanates from beside me. I wonder if the fact that she seems amused by my comments so often is actually genuine, or rather just from a want to make me more comfortable in addressing her blindness. There are ways around it. Some meals are more difficult to cook than others because of my being able to see what I'm doing, but it's usually only takes a little more time. Fingers can double as a very useful measurement tools, for example. It makes sense, but she'd have to be plenty careful not to hurt herself. I wonder how many times that's happened. Given that it sounds like she's cooked alone for possibly years while Kira worked and her parents were gone. With that, the conversation trails off. Compared to the awkward silences of Hanako, Lily seems genuinely content to say what she thinks and stay quiet when there's nothing to say. The slick road under my feet is bathed in an orange glow, the occasional fallen leaf crunching underfoot as we walk. I let out a deep yawn, my lack of sleep coming back to haunt me. Did you not get much sleep last night? I couldn't sleep at all for the last 2 nights, probably insomnia. Lily's face suddenly becomes worried. It feels like a personal failure every time she gets worried about my well-being, even if it's genuinely nice to know someone cares. You have insomnia? Aren't you going to see the nurse about it? Nah, no real need. It's happened before a few times. My meds screw with my sleeping occasionally. Was this even brought up in the other routes? I don't think it was. Although I think insomnia was on the list of things that could happen in the prologue. Anyways. I'm sorry. Come on, it's not your fault. At least I shouldn't have any trouble getting to sleep tonight. You do worry me sometimes. I worry you? I reach around and scratch the back of my neck. I kind of want to address this. Hey, Lily. Hmm? I don't mean to sound weird, but please try to forget about my heart condition. She looks kind of lost. I hardly blame her. I guess what I'm trying to get at is, just don't treat me differently because of it. She bows her head slightly, her white cheeks reddening almost imperceptibly. It's only natural to worry about those around you. Well, it's nice to know that there's someone like that out there. It may be somewhat embarrassing to say, but it's the truth. Lily takes a breath to regain her composure and manages a gentle smile, though her cheeks remain flushed. The final downhill walk to the store passes in silence. Welcome! I suppose I'll get my stuff first, and Hanako's on the second round. I grab 2 well-worn baskets from the stack beside the entrance and pass one to Lily. Just as she did before, she lays it on the ground and slides her retracted cane between the basket's handles before picking it back up with her right hand. When she takes hold of my arm in her own, I'm surprised at just how fast this kind of casual contact became so natural, mostly due to necessity, no doubt. Shall we? Sure. While we navigate around the store, the odd person occasionally passing us pays us no heed at all. It's nice compared to the stares and whispers around the city. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily what she needs and grab it along with what I want, putting our items into their respective baskets. It's an odd feeling to be dependent on so much for something so basic as shopping. Hanako would be practically a necessity for her to pick out what she wants after all. Right. I'm pretty much done with both my stuff and Hanako's. You need anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. Oddly, there's a queue a mile long. Considering the store is only large enough to warrant one counter, it seems it'll take a while. Damn. Lily gives an inquisitive look, unable to see the reason for my complaint. Alright, who's texting me? Okay, well, I guess... family issues. You see, I only keep my phone on because if there's something I suddenly need to know, like right now, I would like to know. For example, at any given moment, I could probably get called back to work during a, not just during the summer, but like during like any work day. So that's why I keep my phone on. And now they are talking, but whatever. Lily gives an inquisitive look, unable to see the reason for my complaint. The queue's really long, looks like we'll have to wait. How strange. Sharing the same mood of resignation, we reluctantly take our place at the end of the line. One person finishes, the line moves up. Another person finishes, the line moves up. By the time we finally reach the head of the line, I'm so close to dozing off that Lily has to gently pat me on the back for me to move up. Hazao? Hazao! Sorry. She gives a short sigh of consternation as I move up, getting the groceries for Hanako and me put into separate bags. Thank you, please come again. By the time we emerge from the store, Lily's holding a single bag while I struggle to carry 4, both hands well and truly full. It's a lot of work, but thankfully the items in them are light. Even without looking skyward, it's obvious that a surprising amount of time has passed, the road outside being dark and lit by street lamps. Once Lily retrieves her cane, we set out back to the dormitories the way we came, leaving the welcoming warm glow of the store. Despite the road being empty of cars, the full bags abundantly make up for the lack of noise, constantly clunking and squeaking together. My, Hazao, it's good to find that you're eating well. I'm a growing guy after all. I need to eat all I can. It must be nice being a man. Oh, what? Seemingly not noticing or ignoring my surprise at the completely out of left field comment, she continues on without missing a beat. Weight doesn't really bother you when eating most of the time. I get what you mean. Women tend to worry about that stuff. Women tend to worry about stuff like that more than we do, I guess. I guess women of different cultures, but definitely not American women. Exactly, it makes me somewhat envious, to be honest. Look, Lily, I care about my weight. Right, I'd rather not be a fucking fat slob. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Well, it's not like we can outright ignore it. With an affirmative nod, we continue our walk. Huh, that's right. What is it? Hanako mentioned your birthday was earlier this year. Do you do anything special for it? She gives a long pause, lost in thought for a few seconds as she recalls the event. Not really. It was just Hanako and me having a little party during the night after school. Your birthday's supposed to be a big event, you know. Sounds like a pretty lonely way to spend a birthday, just her and Hanako staying overnight. Birthdays always felt like a family occasion for me. There were a time when, in spite of their full-time jobs, both my parents would make an effort to be there for the day, or at least for a party beforehand. It reminds me of how Lily mentioned she hadn't seen her family in such a long time, and even ended up moving away from Akira's house afterwards. But I guess it's the same in situations as mundane as these. Considering her inability to read the packaging, just getting groceries would be a pain without somebody else around. In the end, she just has Hanako and me, and Akira when she's off from work. Be that as it may, she still seems to have many more distant friends among the students, not to mention people like Yuko. It seems to be her own choice that there's such a separation between those two, those who are close to her, and those who she only socializes with. It humbles me a little to see how much Lily seems to have her life set up and going just as she wants. Yet Hanako is there for her to celebrate her birthday, and I'm here helping her with shopping. It's a weird kind of symbiosis, I suppose. Are you alright, Hazao? Sorry? You just seem to go very quiet, that's all. Sorry, I was just thinking. Oh? Now that I've piqued her curiosity, It feels kind of overly personal to talk about, though. Okay, I'm going to save here. And, geez, I'm 30 minutes in the episode, so I'm not gonna go out now. So basically, what I intend to do at the moment, is I want the good ending to be the very last thing. So I'm going to be picking all the options that do not lead to a good ending. So, anyways. Okay, wonderful. Alright, so. Alright, telling the truth would obviously be the best thing, because, you know, like, please talk to me, Hijao, please talk to me. Okay, I'll talk to you. Alright, let's avoid the subject, because again, I have to pick every option to 100% the game, so let's do this. Avoid the subject. I was just thinking about some of the stuff that's happened. Don't worry. She leans in even closer, forcing me to move sideways. Come on, don't you ever do that as well? Make it sound as if you're hiding something. Ugh. Why must this girl be so perceptive? Glancing back at her face, though, she wears a cute, playful smile. She's playing with me. Even so, I'd rather not pursue this with her. I told you it's nothing. Lily furrows her brow in disapproval. Is that so? Yes, it is. You're a very bad liar, Hizao. That's true. But that's why I'm not lying. I'm just a very trustworthy person. Huh. Okay. I'm sure you are. I think I could forgive you just this once, though. Forgive? What for exactly? She giggles a little before resuming her quiet walking. Just what is she thinking now? I look up to the dark sky as I slump my shoulders. I think this is something I have to sort out for myself, rather than relying on her for everything. Eventually, we get to the girls' dormitories, both my arms aching from the weight of 2 sets of groceries. Ah, we're finally here. Phew! I bend down to wipe my forehead with the back of my hand. Lily stops in front of her door and sets down her bag, fishing around in her pocket for the key. Thank you, Hizao. I really appreciate your help. Ah, this is nothing. It might be nothing to you, but it's definitely something for me. And with that, she steps through her door, closing it behind her. I blink. Those are nothing but honest thanks. I can't help feeling something different about them. Anyway, I have something else to do before I can mull on that at my leisure. I turn back to the door to Hanako's room and proceed to knock twice in quick succession, the bag still in my hand rustling together. After a couple of seconds, the door slowly opens. If one weren't looking closely, they could be forgiven for thinking it hadn't moved at all. I twist my head to the side and try to peer through the tiny sliver of a gap between the door and the doorframe. Hey Hanako, I've got your stuff. Ah. With that, she opens the door completely, making her plain room visible over her shoulder, sparsely decorated. It's probably even more unremarkable than my room. I hold out my right arm, both bags almost pulling it straight back down with their weight. Thank you, Hizao. I'm sorry to make you carry them all this way. It's fine, don't worry. Just don't make me do it every day, okay? I pass the bags to her, as I give a light-hearted chuckle. After the initial transfer of weight, she manages to take them easily. I'll be off then. Night, Hanako. Good night, see you in class tomorrow. With a deep bow, her grocery still held in both hands, she steps back and shuts the door. Making my way back to my own dorm, I put one bag into my other hand to balance that out. Even as I do so, I can't get Lily's light-hearted smile out of my mind. When I first met her, it would have been nearly impossible to imagine her like that. Indeed, it feels like we've become closer in the past few weeks since I got to know both her and Hanako. The time that I spend with her each day, the small exchanges of happiness we share, those small moments of joy as I get closer to her. I'm far from certain, but I don't think these are just the normal feelings of friendship. Once I return to my room, I store away my groceries and begin getting ready for the night. I swap my school books in my bag for those I'll need tomorrow, pulling out the yellow envelope Misha gave me earlier in the process. I got so sidetracked by one thing after another that I couldn't deal with it earlier. Who could have written me, I wonder? The name neatly adorning the back of the envelope freezes me in my tracks. It's been so long since I've seen her writing. There's little chance I could have identified it as hers otherwise. Iwanako. Why should she have written me? I can't think of any good reason for her to do this. I almost don't open the letter. But there'd be a little point to that if I just left it alone. Its mere existence would gnaw at me until I did something about it. I look down at the piece of paper on my desk, its bright and summery decoration beaming happily at me. The lettering is in pink, jarring badly with the yellow sunflower border on the card. The handwriting is neat, the characters having been written thoughtfully and with an unusual amount of care. I'd barely given the letter a second thought when it was given to me, but now I can't get its contents out of my mind. While I'd like to say I don't know why she used such an old-fashioned method of communication, considering a phone call or an email would be much faster and easier, the answer feels obvious given the context. Given the content. A letter leaves a comfortable distance between the sender and the recipient. Unlike a phone, it isn't required that you engage in conversation, and unlike email, there is less expectation of an immediate reply. Statements such as, the third year seem to be very anxious about the final exams, and it's so weird to think we're already seniors, isn't it? Are just small talk. Small talk that could have been achieved by simply replying to any of the messages I sent her while in the hospital. The ending, though, is a true reason she sent this. The last couple of lines, added almost as an afterthought. I wonder if we will meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't. It's a statement that should hurt. I've always heard breakups are nasty stuff, but it feels like this simply is a reaffirmation of what we both already knew instead. It's the preceding text, no more small talk, that makes me feel most uneasy. I can't figure out why. No matter how long I sit there and look down at this bright and summery piece of paper. If you would like to correspond with me, by all means write me back. It's plainly obvious that this is not the type of letter to be replied to. In the end, this letter is no more than a simple abdication of responsibility, a final statement to reassure herself that our relationship is over. As such, I find I have little problem in scrunching the letter and the envelope into a ball and tossing it into the waste bin, ridding myself of its existence. I go to bed with mixed feelings, cheated out of a pleasant evening by this intruder from the past. Ironically, it takes a while before I can manage to sleep. Oh no, he's here. Oh no. Oh no. No, he's here. Wait, what? Wait, I can skip that? Okay. I sweat profusely, awaiting the dreaded moment. Each tick of the clock tenses my muscles that much more, every minute making more hair stand on end. It's coming for me. I can feel it. Death. Death in the form of a single sheet of paper. I take the small pile of papers from the student in front of me and pass it backwards after plucking off the top piece. Looking to the top right of the page, I find my fears realized within that small red circle. 43! I hang my head and sigh in resignation, cursing under my breath. I can feel the aura of a similar sentiment rising from the entire class. It's strange, but that fact lifts my mood by a minuscule amount. Misery loves company, I suppose. As the teacher opens her mouth, the room braces for the inevitable onslaught, only to be saved at the last minute. We quickly move to collect our bags and leave for lunch post-haste, but the teacher delivers a parting broadside. We'll be discussing text scores next lesson. Now, needless to say, there will be quite some discussion to be had. A collective groan resounds from the class, now reduced to shuffling out dejectedly. I push the sheet into my bag as I walk along the hallway, crumpling it in the process. It's enough that such a troublesome letter ended up on my desk yesterday, and now this. I hate English. Hizao! A stern female voice gruffly calls out from behind me. I freeze on the spot. I freeze on the spot, my face becoming like a stone. It's as if I can feel my brain disconnecting from my body. My eyes slowly shift right, trying to catch a glimpse of the disembodied voice. Nothing? My face begins to slip as time passes, and I decide to risk turning my head, ever so slowly. I twist it to the... Yeah! I jump into the air and drop my bag, yelling out in surprise. As I recover and regain my composure, I turn to see. I should have known. Emmy. Gotcha, Hizao. She stands there, with a mischievous grin on her face, hands forward and fingers pointed inwards. She was the one who jabbed my ribs with her fingers. I looked down at her with a grimace, rubbing my hair in frustration. That's no way to greet someone, you know. You have no sense of humor. I left my sense of humor in English class. Complain to the teacher if you want it given back to me. She pulls her best puppy dog eyes on me as she pouts. Lily's managed to build up my resistance to the tactic, but Emmy's short stature adds enough to the effect to make me relent. So, how are things? I haven't seen you around for a while. Yeah, in the Let's Play as well, we haven't really talked to her. Same old, same old. I run so fast, nobody wants to join me on my morning runs. It's a real pain. Her modesty never fails to amuse me. Although... Uh-oh. You know what I'm thinking, don't you, Hizao? Wearing my emotions on my sleeve is one of my worst habits. She's seen right through me. Fortunately, I see somebody else approaching us that will give me an out. Oh, hi, Hanako. I give her a welcoming wave, and I try my best at looking like I haven't noticed Emmy's pouting face. She gives me a small wave back. Hello, Hizao. Emmy. Hey, Hanako. I'll join you and Lily in a sec. Actually, speaking of lunchtime company, it's odd to see you without Rin, Emmy. Ah, Rin! Without a second word, she forgets all about us and bolts up the hallway. She must have forgotten she was waiting for her. Hanako and I stand speechless, only able to helplessly stand and watch this ball of seemingly boundless energy dash off. Oh yeah, Hizao? She suddenly stops herself just before vanishing around the corner to the rooftop staircase, spinning around to meet our bemused faces. I hate English too. With that, she disappears. All I can do is hang my head and give a long sigh, thoroughly left in the dust. As I hear a short giggle coming from behind me, I turn to see Hanako smiling at the corner my attacker rounded. I pick up my dropped bag from the floor and quickly dust it off. Afternoon? Been busy? You don't like English? Oh, nah, I had a test on it a while back, and Emmy caught me brooding about the results. Ah, sorry. She averts her gaze, guilt-ridden on her face. A casual observer would think she's just accidentally reminded me of a dead relative. Oh, come on, it's not your fault. How are you doing in it? She looks up, though still avoids meeting my eyes. Alright, I suppose? An awkward silence passes. They seem all too common around Hanako. Oh, Lily asked if you'd like to join us for lunch on the roof. I guess I don't exactly have any pressing engagements to attend to. Sure, I'll be right up. I'll go get my lunch from the cafeteria now then. Go on, you don't need my approval to leave, you know. Okay, I'll be going then. She gives a skittish reply, a small nod, and quickly makes off towards the cafeteria. I guess she must have forgotten to bring lunch today. As I walk through the hallways, more and more students start to come out of the classrooms and pass me, going in the same direction as Hanako went. By the time I manage to make it up the stairs, I'm having to push my way past a busily chatting throng of students. I finally manage to get past the last of the crowd and round the staircase, slumping slightly in relief and slowing my pace before I open the door to the roof. Ah, damn. I momentarily avert my eyes, all but blinded by the harsh summer sun. Hmm? Sorry. You know, this round really does feel like it should be played last. I was just thinking about that, but anyways. Hmm? As I slowly regain my vision, the surroundings finally take form. Lily, Emmy, and Rin sit together on the rooftop, the top of the hilltop forest around Yamaku visible past the fence around them, as if to frame the view. Ah, Hizao! Lily and Rin give a quick nod of acknowledgement and a deep nod of greeting, respectively. I start walking towards the rather mismatched trio, and can't help marveling at the speed with which Emmy devours the rest of her half-eaten banana. Hey, strange to see you three together like this. It seems to have been quite the day of coincidences. Emmy and Rin decided to eat on the roof just as Hanako and I decided to. You stole it. The spot was ours. Simmer down. You can't steal a place in the school. I plonk myself down beside Lily, the four of us creating a semicircle. I think she's right. You too? The butterfly is her accomplice. As I glance around, sure enough, a small yellow butterfly floats across my field of vision. So tell me, how did this butterfly help Lily steal this spot? It scouted out our conversation and told her. I should have known better than to expect sound reasoning from Rin. Regardless, I guess it wouldn't hurt to play along. You're telling me she can talk to butterflies. There are people who can talk to horses, called horse whisperers. Lily must be a butterfly whisperer. I bury my head in my hands as Emmy rounds on her strange companion. She doesn't seem to share Rin's sense of humor. Whisperers don't work like that. Emmy and Rin continue their banter as I turn to Lily, who's busily finishing off her small box of curry and rice. So what brought you up here anyway? A little fresh air every now and again doesn't hurt. Ah! Emmy breaks off from her vain attempts to introduce the concept of logic to Rin. That's why we came up here too. Something tells me it was her idea alone, that Rin only got dragged up here on Emmy's whim. Then again, the same could probably be said of Lily and Hanako. Now, we can share. The creaking of the door to the roof can be heard. As soon as she says the words, a moment of silence falls over us as everyone's attention focuses on a figure appearing from it. Hanako slowly walks over to us, her eyes pinned to the ground, silently ruining the attention she's attracting. She tenses just barely when her eyes meet Rin's. I can't help raising an eyebrow as she walks over to us and sits next to me, doing her utmost to avoid looking up, even as she brings her cafeteria bread to her mouth. So, how do you and Emmy know each other anyways? Emmy's somewhat well known around the school for her athletic ability. She's the fastest member of the track and field club by some margin, even beating Miki Muria at the track meet last week. Miki Muria. That tanned girl from the front of my class. Considering her height and toned body, being able to beat her is quite an accomplishment. Looking over to Emmy, it's very clear she's well aware of this fact and beams proudly. So Hizao, what's your score in English? Ouch. No comment. Boo. She puffs her cheeks and pouts. It doesn't take long for her to bounce back. Alright, I'll tell you mine. You have to tell me yours, deal? Fine. Okay, on the count of 3, we both say our results. 1, 2, 3. 32. I beam a mischievous grin. Evil. You said it, not me. The fact that you've managed an even lower score than me is kind of amazing. She looks and sounds like a small terrier growling at an intruder. I can't say it's the most threatening sight I've seen. Either way, scoring higher than 32 isn't something to boast about, much less scoring below it for any subject. Yes, Lily. Sorry, Lily. I could help you with your English if you'd like. It would be my pleasure to... No, that's fine, but I appreciate the thought, really. Lily looks slightly deflated. Her hopes, imparting her knowledge, dashed. Judging from the badly hidden laughter of the rest of us, neither she nor Emmy seem to have garnished too much pity. As I sit happily laughing, though, I feel my voice suddenly cut off as my chest clenches. I sit in silence for a few seconds, all of my concentration forced on my heartbeat. It's only a small pain, but the ache feels like it's growing. Breathe deeply, breathe deeply. I glance upward to try and keep at least some of my attention on my surroundings, to see Emmy suddenly freezing when she notices the expression of pain on my face out of the corner of her eye. Hey, Hazao, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I look back down and redouble my efforts to try and stay calm, clenching my fist to try and dull the pain. It takes a short time, but the pain, thankfully, begins to fade. When I look back up, there's only silence and pensive faces to be seen. I guess I'd better explain myself. Arrhythmia. I'm fine. It's just a heart flutter. Are you sure? Should we get the nurse? Taking her cue, Hanako quickly picks herself up and begins to dash to the door. Hanako, stop. Lily, I'm fine. You look like a wet, wrinkled tomato. Huh? As I bring my hand to my forehead, I can feel the beads of sweat gathered on it and dab them off with my cuff. Thanks, I told you. I'm fine, I'm just kind of fragile, I guess. The entire atmosphere's changed from one of giddy to downcast faces, the situation being too awkward for anyone to know exactly how to react. And of course, the whole thing is thanks to me. It just had to happen now, around others. Oh, Emmy? Huh? She looks up, a box of juice halfway to her mouth. I haven't told you my score yet, have I? Yeah, well, you're half foreign, so your score doesn't count anyway. Lifting an eyebrow, I inquisitively turned to Lily. What was your test results anyway? She gives a cheeky grin. 100%. Perfect score. No way. All I can do is hang my mouth open in wonder. Considering those tests are insane, even for some native speakers, I can only imagine she's gone and done something like communicating to mind part of the dictionary. A gift for rote memorization, maybe. That's... C, only someone part foreign could get a score that good. C? Lily and I grin at Emmy's expense, her reaction identical to mine when I first tripped on that little landmine. Lily's foreign ancestry does raise a point, though. That's right. You leave tomorrow for Scotland, don't you? That's correct. Emmy heard some rumors about it. I guess it seems word spreading quickly, considering I only told a friend in class a couple of days ago. It must be so nice to go half around the world on a holiday. Hey, could you buy me something while you're there? Don't be too shy now. Lily gives a light-hearted chuckle, evidently fully expecting Emmy's bluntness. The rest of the lunch continues much the same as before, the jauntiness from before my heart flutter thankfully returning in full. As everyone flies off with the appropriate farewells, only Lily and I are left. Hey, Lily. She packs the last of her things into her bag and clips it shut, before perking her head up slightly. Thanks for breaking the silence back there. I kind of wanted to stop it, but didn't really know how. As much as I'd like to sound less morose about it, the letter from yesterday screwing up... The letter from yesterday, screwing up a test so badly in class, and now my heart make things very hard indeed. She gives an indulgent smile and nods. I hope she hasn't picked up on it, but knowing her, it's unlikely that she hasn't. Emmy's strong, but only human. We do worry about you, Hazao. Hold on, why would I worry you? Her smiling face collapses, becoming uncomfortably serious. Hazao, we are not ignorant of your situation. She suddenly cuts herself short, unsure of whether she should say what she intends to. I give a weak smile and rest my hand on her shoulder. Don't. It's enough that I worry about it. I don't want you all to shoulder my burden. But if you all worry about it, I have to worry about your worrying, if that makes sense. I'm fine, okay? For a moment, she looks to be lost in thought, carefully pondering how to react. Zhao, do you have any paper left from your food's packaging? I think so, I'll just check. I rummage around my bag for the leftovers from lunch, eventually finding a paper square from my sandwich's package. My eyebrow raised and my expression rather quizzical, I gently place the square onto Lily's hand. Without another word, she brings her fingers around it to feel out its edges. This should be large enough. Both of us seated on the roof, the minutes to the lesson ticking away. She proceeds to lay the item on the ground and begin her work in earnest. Wrapped in silence, I watch her fingers move on about the small square with amazing dexterity. A small fold here, a larger fold there. Her fingertips keep a slow but sure pace. Looking up, her expression is calm and placid. The fact her face is pointed well above the sheet in front of her makes the sight of her work all the more curious. Her shoulders slump a bit. After finishing one final fold, her work is apparently done. It's only when she holds up the item up in her hands that I realize what it is. Origami. A small origami crane. Light brown thanks to the packaging used. The result looks quite delicate and precise. You can do origami? I taught myself how to do it when I was younger. It improved my dexterity a bit. Huh? A little baffled, I carefully take the small bird from her pale cupped hands, as if it would break from the slightest breath. It seems to be folded up quite well, and holds its shape easily. We both grab our bags and head out the door, Lily extending her cane as she does so. I hold Lily's handiwork up to my face for further inspection while we walk down the hallway, her hand running along the silver handrails for orientation. If she taught herself origami to improve her dexterity, with the use of her hands meaning so much to her given condition, so that's it. I smile as I realize the bird's meaning. Everyone here has to find their own ways of dealing with their conditions. You aren't alone here when you have problems. Thanks, Lily. I appreciate this. She gives a sweet smile and a nod, not using words where none need to be used, in her typical manner. All I ask is you take care of yourself, Azao. Don't worry, I will. Promise? Promise. And with that, we part ways. To be honest, I don't know what annoys me more. The fact I could just die at any moment, or the fact everyone knows that. I guess I'll take each day as it comes. As the unexpected present in my hand reminds me I'm not alone here. Even though I may be like this, I'm not alone. If they worry, if anyone worries, I'll smile. I'll smile enough for all their worries to go away. Well, I think that's it for this episode. So. Okay, we're gonna end it on Mutuo. Let's save here. So. Well, it's been Dean the Autist. I'm gonna take a short break. Have a nice day. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.